Today's video, and in today's video, I will be discussing the 5 most important swing states for every party on the presidential level, just in general. So I'll start off by labeling, by the way, both. It's just because there's one state somewhere that's the most important state for both parties, or one of the most important states for both parties. So I will label that when the time comes. But we're gonna start off by labeling the I guess least important. I'll start off with the least important Democratic state, and that is the state of Georgia. I don't have a map pulled up. I'll go do that. Okay, so I have this map. It's taking a second to load. By the way, Georgia is by no means like not important, but it's just probably the least important of any of these states. Go look at it. Joe Biden won it very, very narrowly. Democrats don't need it to win, but it is a fairly important state, and a lot of Georgia, a lot of the strategy behind winning Georgia for Democrats is less of an electoral vote gain for them and more of taking votes away from the GOP, because Georgia really is a state that the GOP almost certainly needs. They don't 100% have to have it, but it's one of the states that they do need, and I don't have it for them on this list. That's a disclaimer. I don't have them with Georgia. Although thinking about it, it could easily be on this list for them, but I don't have it there for them. Now, next up, for the GOP, their next state. I'm trying to think of a random state. I'm not gonna do this in any particular order. Texas. That one's pretty obvious. It's not a shocker. It's 41 electoral votes that they couldn't win an election without. If they lose Texas, it's almost essentially over. Because they would struggle immensely. They would have to win essentially every other swing state if they were to lose the state of Texas. So that's one thing, and it is becoming a swing state. It is becoming incredibly close. So Texas, probably the GOP's or one of their most important swing states. Next up for the Democrats, state of Arizona. We go look at this. Biden also very nearly won Arizona. It's another thing where, yes, it does help them. It's like Georgia, where it helps them, or like what North Carolina would be. It helps them. Yes, they need it, or almost they would benefit greatly from it. But the GOP needs it more, and it's essentially less about winning it and more about keeping it from the GOP. Now, the GOP's next state, the state of Florida. These two crucial Sunbelt swing states, maybe the two most important Sunbelt swing states just in general. But as we go look at this, I mean, like, Trump was able to win Florida by like 3.3%. It's another state, the GOP, I'll just go label a bunch of states for Democrats. GOP would struggle to win without it because, actually, I'm not going to do that over here. Just give me a second. Okay, so here I am, back over here with this map. And this is essentially if the Democrats win the state of Florida. Because if they win the state of Florida, Republicans could win Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. But then they would also have to be able to win Michigan to win. So it's a pretty crucial state for them. And I mean, like, it's 31 electoral votes. That's a pretty big electoral presence. And it's a state that they almost certainly cannot win without. Now, next up for the Democrats, I'm not sure which one I should do next. I'll just go do Michigan. Michigan is, the next state for the Democrats. And now, as we go and look at 2020, we're here. They won Michigan, and Michigan is, I would say, maybe the most important state in the Electoral College. I'm just going to go label all these states. We go look at this. Over here. Michigan red. I'm like, if Michigan goes red, so is Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. However, here's the thing. GOP wins Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. They still lose without Michigan. Dems win Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. They win without Michigan, but if they lose Michigan, they're almost certainly going to lose Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. So it's a very crucial state. But I don't really see a path to victory for either party without the state of Michigan. So that's why I'm going to label Michigan right there. Now for the Republicans, their next crucial state is the state of North Carolina. Now, if we go look at this, I mean, like, North Carolina is another state they absolutely must win. If they lose North Carolina and they lose all these states, they can carry Arizona and Georgia, and then Michigan. Actually, Pennsylvania is probably more likely than Michigan, and then Wisconsin, and that's what it would take for them to win. So they would have to flip a lot of states and hang on to a lot of states that are shifting to the left for them to be able to win without the state of North Carolina. So North Carolina, clearly fairly large electoral presence, and it's a state that the Republicans would have a hard time winning without. Now for the Democrats, the next most important swing state for them, I believe, is the state of Wisconsin. We go look at this, another state similar to Michigan. It is the most conservative state in the Rust Belt, so I'd actually say it's the least crucial for them to be able to win. But if we go look at this, once again, why it's so crucial to Democrats, if the Republicans, why it's so crucial to the Republicans, because if the Republicans lose Wisconsin, even if they win Pennsylvania, and Arizona, they would still lose. I mean, like, Wisconsin isn't that huge of an electoral presence, and I mean, like, neither is obviously Pennsylvania is, but Wisconsin, if they lose it, they're gonna struggle. They can still obviously win without it, but without Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, they are essentially screwed, because they could lose Arizona, and it's not as crucial as I've said because. I mean, like, it's like the most competitive Rust Belt state, and they're not gonna, like, suffer too much if they do lose it. But it is a very important state, and it's part of that blue wall, and, I mean, like, we've seen the blue walls vote together, for as long as I can remember. I can't think of the last time it didn't, vote together. So they they definitely need to carry. I could see it flipping and voting without the rest of, Michigan and Pennsylvania, but it is still a pretty crucial state for them. Now for the Republicans, next state is Ohio. This is a state very similar to North Carolina. It has a very, very large electoral presence, making it very important. I mean, like, we go make this 2020, and then we give the Democrats Ohio. Ohio, if the Democrats win Ohio, I think it's pretty much over, because if they win Ohio win Iowa, maybe win North Carolina and Florida, maybe win Texas, not gonna win Utah. So it would take a lot. If they were to be able to win Ohio, they could get a landslide. But let's go back and label these states back for the GOP. If they win Ohio, the GOP would have to win Arizona and Georgia, along with Pennsylvania and then Wisconsin. So they would have to flip a lot of swing states. It's also most of these swing states. Wisconsin can be debated, but Pennsylvania is essentially shifting to the left because its suburbs are still red. So Ohio, a very crucial state for them, and just because, I mean, like, if they lose it, that's kind of like the barrier for if they lose Ohio, like I said, it leaves room open for them to start losing, Iowa. If they lose Iowa, then they could lose North Carolina, Florida, Texas, maybe Indiana. I don't see them losing Indiana. But it's still a possibility in a lot of these states that are becoming more liberal. Maybe Alaska, or Ohio were to flip. It's not an insane idea that if Ohio were to flip, Alaska could become very competitive. So Ohio is a very crucial state for them just because it's also one of those. It's kind of like a benchmark. And then I believe the final state. The final state. You probably saw that coming. It was Pennsylvania. Now, we go look at this. Pennsylvania is essentially maybe the most crucial state in elections. Because here's the thing. If the Democrats win Pennsylvania, it'll be easier for the GOP to win. I don't see them winning Arizona and Georgia, by the way. But they would have to be able to flip Arizona, Georgia, and Wisconsin, which would be difficult because these two are trending to the left. But if they don't win them, they'd also have to carry Michigan. And then, I'm trying to find a state that's not them. After that, I would probably say the easiest path is through New Hampshire, maybe, and then Nevada. Nevada, actually. That's probably their easiest path because these two states are shifting to the left. Like I said, it's not an insane possibility. DeSantis versus AOC, they'd probably flip. But we give the GOP that state, Pennsylvania. Not makes it, obviously the Democrats could still win, but if they were to flip Pennsylvania, my computer's about to die, I'm going to go plug it in. If we were to give the GOP Pennsylvania, that's assuming that they also carry, Wisconsin. And if they carry Wisconsin, there's a good chance that they carry Georgia or Arizona. Like I said, these two are swinging to the left. Then they could carry Michigan. Now, this is the 2016 electoral map. If they carry Michigan, we could seriously see Nevada flip. we could maybe see New Hampshire flip. I highly doubt it. Like, this state is also more or less a benchmark, but it has a fairly large electoral presence and is one of a very competitive state. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for my next video, and I'll see you all there. Bye.